Every once in a while you come across somebody who just absolutely loves Christmas. And when Nora reached out to me, it reminded me of somebody that I used to know who has now passed away. But when I would visit her in July, she always had all of her Christmas napkins out. Janet, this made me think of you, wherever you are. In order to make Christmas lights look like they were glowing, it took a little bit of experimenting to figure out, but I think I got it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe if you like watching my process videos. So I sped past the inking part because that's not the most interesting part of this piece, but I was thinking about how I was going to make it glow. So after some experimenting, I figured out what I was going to do. And the thing with glowing lights is that there is no hard edge of the glow. The glow of the light is often on the objects around it. And so actually drawing a light is not the hard part. It's making sure that everything else around it looks like it's glowing without losing the details of the house. So I started out by picking out all the colors I was going to use, and she had green, blue, pink, yellow, and white lights mostly, and a couple of varieties of those colors. So I used my alcohol marker to make dots, and then I went in with my colorless blender, which is not something I often use, but it's really good for sort of muting out and blending out to make that color not such a hard edge. So I did a little test spot on the right-hand side because I figured if I ruined it, then I would only ruin one spot and I could start over and I wouldn't have wasted so much time. So in the beginning, this looks actually very, very ugly. And it was very, very tedious, but I was super excited about this project, so the tediousness of it didn't really bother me. Something that was also a challenge for this piece was that there were lights all over everything. So normally what I do with a sketch is I do the pencil sketch and then I ink over everything with ink, and then I go into color. But with this one, I had to erase little bits of the pencil a little bit at a time so that I could put in the color for the lights without losing the structure of whatever it was that I was sketching. I hope that makes sense. And then I also had to put in some color behind the lights without totally coloring over the lights. So this part was challenging because I had to fill in the little bits where the glow did not touch the light without losing all the work that I just did to blend out those lights. So you can see where the challenge came in. So when you're dealing with a light that's glowing, you have the exterior glow that's kind of glowing onto all the objects around it. And then you have the intense color of the middle of the bulb. And then you also have sort of the white, the brightest part where the light is inside of the bulb. So I had to do this in 3 stages. 1, put down the alcohol marker and blend it out so that I get that nice glow, and then put in the more intense color in the middle, and then I had to go over every single one again with a white paint pen to show that bright white in the middle. And this tree was one of my favorite parts because it's just so pretty with all the different lights, and I had never seen a tree like that before. And another challenge of doing the lights is that if you really look at something that has white lights on it, there's the intense white light in the middle, and then you can kind of see the background color of whatever it is that you're coloring. But we were doing snow, so I was having a hard time figuring out how I was going to make it look glowy. For instance, that little bunny in the front, it was all white lights on top of snow. So how was I going to make it look like it was glowing? So I added a super light gray covering the entire bunny, and you can see that I also did this process in the windows. And then I added little tiny white lights with paint pen all over the bunny, and I think it turned out pretty good. Then all I had to do was add a background and make it look dark outside. I sent a picture over to Nora and she said it brought a tear to her eye. I absolutely love how this one turned out, and it took me a little while to figure out how to make the alcohol marker glow because I know how to do it with watercolor, but I've never done it with alcohol marker. So here's the final piece with the background and all the little glowing bits. Let me know what you think in the comments.